If you are racing toward a contract with a major wrestling promotion, then I am here to warn you. There are 6 types of people who are going to cut right ahead of you. A complete breakdown of all 6 and strategies for each are coming up next on Till We Make It. I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. Right here on my channel, I make videos for fellow professional wrestlers at every single stage of their career, from apprentice phase all the way up to veteran status. And I do this because when I was starting out, for the first 3 years that I was an active pro, I had no coach to teach me, nor did I have a mentor to guide me. And I really do believe that lack of access to veteran experience played a significant role in my failure to achieve my ultimate career goal, and I don't want that to be someone else's fate. I don't want that thing to happen to you. If you're down with that, go ahead. Join the Till We Make It tribe. Subscribe right now, or take your education to the next level by joining our community over on Patreon, where you can unlock 110 exclusive videos that will never appear here on the channel. Just follow the link down below in the descriptus, and you can be part of it all for as little as $5 a month. There will always be people who get to cut to the front of the line. This is true in life, and this is certainly true in professional wrestling. Whether we are considering wrestling at the independent level, or we're considering wrestling at the corporate level, where people compete for big money contracts, there are going to be those who get to cut right ahead of you. And no matter where you ply your trade right now, or where you hope to ply your trade soon, we're going to break down all 6 of them, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do about it. Let's start with the one which is most relevant in this present moment. When I get hired to do private consultations, or the kind of stuff I do over on Wizio.com, someone books a one-on-one with me there, the thing I get asked about the most by far is getting signed by the WWE. And I want you to know there's nothing wrong with wanting to work for the industry leader. But if that is your destination, you need to know there is someone who's going to cut right ahead of you in that process over and over and over again. And that person is the college athlete. College athletes are now given priority over everyone else considered for a WWE tryout. So much so that in the last year, the WWE launched a program specifically to identify college athletes that might make great WWE superstars. The program is called Next in Line, or NIL for short. And this has taken deep root in the company's culture. So much so that if you go to the Performance Center website right now to apply for a tryout, when you click on that link, what appears is this screen with its own dedicated portal for college athletes so that they can be given priority over literally every other applicant. So maybe you're hearing that and you're thinking, Mike, what am I going to do? I'm not a college athlete. I don't have that on my resume. Well, if you aren't a college athlete, the next best thing is for you to hone the skill of coachability. Do you know what I mean by that term? It's a definite buzzword right now in all of professional wrestling. It is your ability to hear feedback or instruction from a coach and then immediately apply it to what you are doing in the ring. So for example, if a trainer were to tell you that the very next time you tumble across the ring, you need to put your left foot in front and have both hands up in a fighting stance, then the very next time you tumble across the ring, you better make sure you come up with your left foot in front and your hands up in a fighting stance. It's not enough to just say, yes, coach, I understand, and then revert to what you were doing before. Coachability is not agreeability. Coachability is about taking that instruction and then incorporating it immediately. And top-level athletes are able to do that. They take instruction from a coach, they incorporate it immediately. And this is a skill you can hone over time working with your own coach. If you're learning something from today's video, please take a moment right now and leave a like-a-palooza down below. This engagement signal tells YouTube to share my videos with more and more people. That's how it helps the channel to grow. Thanks. Number 2, even if you are the most skilled wrestler on any roster, at any tryout, there's still someone who can cut right ahead of you. And that person is the networking maven. This is someone who walks into a locker room and seems to know everybody. And everybody seems to know them. They can't wait to have a conversation with them. What can you do if you don't have that kind of social capital to bank on? You're going to do this. You're going to become dangerous in any conversation. You know what I mean by that? It's such an important topic. I made a whole video about it on this very channel. So stick around to the end. I'm going to link you to that. However, in short, you want to be able to have a conversation about any potential topic that could come up in the world of wrestling with anyone. The people in the locker room, the people that work in the office, the people conducting or judging the tryout. It's great if you happen to know everything that happened last week on SmackDown. But can you talk about what just happened in Dragon Gate? Did you see last Friday's CMLL show from Arena, Mexico? You know it's already on YouTube. You need to become dangerous in any conversation. I'll tell you more in that video coming up at the very end. When vying for a desired position at any company, you need to keep an eye out for the politician. You know who I'm talking about here? It's the person who will leverage their connections or their influence to get ahead of everybody else. And at every level of professional wrestling, there is some degree of politicking going on. The more money that is at stake, the more ferocious the politicking becomes. Not all politicking is negative, but it does exist at every single level of wrestling. So what are you going to do when you're faced with that? As a solution, I'd like to paraphrase the work of Niven Postma, the author and business strategist who I think gets it exactly right. Postma puts forth the idea that we all need to understand the two types of currency that make up workplace politics. They are performance currency and relationship currency. And for a long time, I labored under the mistaken notion that just having performance currency would be enough. And I'm here to tell you, I got it wrong. Performance currency is what we earn when we turn in work at the very highest level. Our performance earns us that. And I wanted to believe that as long as I was always delivering in the ring, that would be enough for me to get ahead. And that's only part of the equation. The other part is relationship currency. You need to start to develop strong and positive relationships with everyone that could be your ally and everyone that could be your adversary. And you might hear that and think, why on earth am I going to develop a relationship with someone who is my adversary? The objective is clear when you're building relationships with people who could be your allies, right? But why the adversary? You want to take them off the field. You want to remove anybody who could be an obstacle to your success. And someone who is your adversary, politicking out there to get ahead of you specifically, or even worse, against you actively, hampers your chances of success. Right now, we're in the fourth era of professional wrestling. Carnival era, territory era, cable TV era, social media era. That's where we're at. And you better believe that a social media influencer, or someone who knows how to play the game, someone who understands the new kayfabe of social media, has the ability to jump right in front of you for whatever position you are hoping to obtain. So, maybe you don't have a massive following. Maybe you are the furthest thing from being a social media influencer. What can you do about it? The solution is you're going to look for trends and you're going to follow them. And here's what I mean by that. If you want to get signed to NXT Antarctica and everyone on that roster posts their gym selfies every day, you are too. You want to go to work for the Belgian Wrestling Federation and they're all on TikTok? Now you're on TikTok too. You're going to look at what the trends are and what their social media behavior is like. And then you're going to follow those same trends. Up fifth is the hookup. You know who I'm talking about. It's the guy who can get a ring delivered to your venue with just one text. It's the girl who's connected to the booker at AAA and can put you in contact tonight. It's the person out there who can get your custom entrance gear delivered ahead of schedule just by talking to a friend of theirs. How do you compete with someone who has a Rolodex of connections far beyond what is available to you through your professional network? And the best solution for this is to develop wrestling adjacent skills like video editing, graphic design, sewing, things that people in wrestling need all the time. Develop those skills with a mind for versatility, and you instantly become more valuable to any wrestling company. And you know who's going to jump right ahead of you when the contracts are being passed out? It's the person with the right last name. It's The Rock's daughter. It's Rick Steiner's son. It's Arn Anderson's kid. This has nothing to do with, oh, this person deserves this or this person doesn't deserve that. It's not about that at all. It's that they've got the right family name. And what can you do if you don't have similar familial equity to bank on? You need to make sure you've got a mentor or a coach who opens doors for you. If they made a personal recommendation to someone, that would pay off for you. If they wrote you a professional recommendation to accompany your wrestling resume, that's a name people recognize. You may not have the last right name to open doors in wrestling, but you need to have a mentor or coach who can do it for you. So, what did I forget? Is there something I overlooked? I want you to tell me down below in the comments right now. And I want to shout out my two newest patrons. So welcome aboard, Mike Fresh and the Mike Will. Thanks, Mikes. Here is that video about becoming dangerous in any conversation that I alluded to earlier on. You can click on it and start watching now, or click on the link and follow that to my Patreon. We would love to have you as part of the group.